those people are the ones who are actually building things in the big deal sense of the word. On the other hand, engineering is much more about the planning of the buildings of things. Right? So engineers plan the buildings of things. On the other hand, the skilled workers who are working from the design are the ones who actually fabricate the building, or maybe the engine, whatever it is, the physical device. All right. Well, engineering, as I said, is about planning the building of things, and it's really a three-legged stool. All right. And then there is the so-called design. All right. That's your plan to solve the problem. It may be a physical problem. It may be a social problem. But in other words, the design is the way your plan to solve the problem. But all problems come with a price. You have then two additional legs of the stool. One is, well, somebody has to pay for it. All right. So there's a financial issue associated with engineering, but then as well, as far as the financial issue, well, I'm sure perhaps you've all heard of the so-called environmental impact studies that need to be done. Well, those are legal issues. There's a whole body of law that applies towards or to engineering. Well, in my opinion, the finance and the legal, that's kind of like adult stuff. Here, our concern is primarily the design. Your, of course, then idea, your plan for, of course, then solving the problem. Well, as I said, probably at this point, it's a little too early for you to be thinking about a career in engineering, but I can tell you that perhaps you can prepare yourself to be an engineer, well, just simply by staying curious, all right? Stay curious, ask why something works the way it does. And I mean, I can remember when I was about your age, actually I was probably a little older. I think I was maybe about 12 or 13. I can remember I was at home sick, all right? And I was watching television at the time, and I just asked myself, how does a television work? And based on that simple question, I began to do my own research, and ultimately, while I am the Associate Dean of Engineering, well, I'm actually then, in terms of my degrees, I'm actually an electrical engineer, and just from that one simple question, one simple idea, well, it basically formed my entire career. Well, possibly you are interested in automobiles, or maybe robots. Well, you've been, of course, in robots. You're interested in robots. There are two aspects of robots. One is the physical, the manipulative part of it, and then the other part of it is, I guess you would call it the brains. Well, if you're interested in the physical part of robotics, mechanical engineering would be a good fit for you. On the other hand, if you were interested in, well, how do you teach it to follow a line? How do you teach it to run a maze? That might be more of an electrical engineering type of problem. Right? But you say, I don't care about robots, I don't care about robots, I'm more interested in being an artist. Well, even someone who becomes an excellent artist can become what would be known as an architectural engineer. That is to provide a lot of the pictures that you see of new buildings that are going to be constructed all of that was done by artists, not really by engineers. So engineering, as I guess I'm trying to say, is really a collaborative process. It takes more than just simply someone being good at, I don't know, fixing engines but it takes collaboration between, all of the various disciplines, and not only of course, the engineering disciplines, but also the social sciences, also the artistic sciences, and the entire gamut. So regardless of what you are interested in, I think ultimately there would be a career for each and every one of you in some form or some capacity in engineering. So that's really what I have to say. Is it question time?
We actually just had our last speaker, Bryce, raise your hand. Bryce, raise your hand. His dad was just talking to us. He's an engineer. He was a civil engineer, but he's doing it with what? Hydrography.
Oh, hydrology. Hydrology. He studies water, and actually he played a very important, or had a very important job last night with all of the rain. Due to his work, hard work, we didn't flood.
Yeah. Okay, raise your hand if you have a question. Bella,
my mom is actually an engineer.
Good. What, do you know what type?
No, but she doesn't do that for a job, but she told me one day, and I asked, cause someone's car was broken down in my neighborhood, and I was just asking, are you an engineer? And she said yes. I said, oh, well, I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay, Vance. Talk a little louder.
Whenever you said that, did you think of like little basically like specks of color?
No, I was looking at the picture, and you have to understand that when I was 12 or 13, TV sets were about that big. No, I was interested in what was behind the screen, not what was on the screen, but what was behind the screen.
Okay. Rachel. Right here.
One of my uncles is an architect, and the other one he works with plants.
Okay, so an architect works very closely with civil engineers. Architects are really concerned with the form of a structure, of a building, whereas the civil engineers are really concerned with how to construct or have a plan of construction of that building. And as I said, architectural engineers kind of live in both worlds. They're trained a little more rigorously in engineering than an architect. On the other hand, they take many more architecture courses than a traditional civil engineer would take.
I'll have two from Miss A there, and then we're gonna have to head to the east. So I'll have Claire. Talk loud.
My dad is an engineer, but I don't know what kind. He works on like tunnels, and sometimes he has to go offshore to fix something. But and every time I look at something, it's always acting weird. So I wonder, how is it built? Like, what does it do to make it work?
Excellent. Your dad either a petroleum engineer or a mechanical engineer?
I think I'm mechanical.
Could be because the petrochemical petroleum industry does hire lots of mechanical engineers.
Alright, we're gonna do Bailey last one.
My grandpa, I call him Papa, he lives rich, and my dad, I can't use that name, but he lives in Mexico. And, he works, I forgot what it was. He calls it a fat farm, and he works on these kind of tanks.
He's a petroleum engineer. That's, he is, petroleum engineering is divided up into what is called exploration and then production. Exploration is when you see these drilling rigs around, that's exploration. But once the oil is found, getting it out of the ground into storage tanks for transportation to the refinery, that's the production side. So he's working in the production side of the
What do we tell Parker's grandfather?